Guess who's back again. Lynx are back. Tell a friend. All right, guys, let's do a recap. Let's do a recap. Let's do a recap. Okay. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we witnessed what I would consider pretty sorry game for a game 5. This game 5 was between the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun. Both teams are really good defensively. The Minnesota Lynx, who can be a juggernaut when it comes to offense, they got some 3-point shooters who can really score. And for the Connecticut Sun, you have a Ty Harris, you have a Marina Mabry who can also score, but they don't have as many scorers as the Minnesota Lynx did. They came into this game with Connecticut winning game 4, and it was like, okay, all the marbles are out. Let's see what's gonna happen. The game starts, and right from the get-go, the Minnesota Lynx basically have the game. I want to specifically talk about this first half. Let's talk about this first half and like what really just messed up the Connecticut Sun. All right, so we start the first quarter, right? The first quarter starts, and the Connecticut Sun are shooting. They're making shots. They're doing some stuff, right? Brianna Jones gets everybody started with the jumper. Then Ty Harris gets in the action, right? She gets two back-to-back baskets. Brianna Jones scores again, right? So the Connecticut Sun have a good start to the game. Good start for them. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Minnesota Lynx, guys. At first, to start off the game, at one point it was 9-4, and then Minnesota just started coming back. They started coming back. And I want to specifically talk about a sequence that happened in this first quarter that completely, in my opinion, lost the game for the Connecticut Sun. There was a sequence where Kayla McBride, it was about a little bit less than 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Kayla McBride has a step back jumper, long step back jumper, cash. All right. The Minnesota Lynx go on defense. Play good defense. Ty Harris ends up missing a shot. Alana Smith gets the rebound. Ball goes to Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams gets it back to Alana Smith. Alana Smith, 3-point bucket. Cash. All right. Now, okay, they started to get going from the 3-point line. At this moment, the game is 19 Minnesota, 11 Connecticut in the first quarter. All right. We then continue on. That next sequence down the court, Marina Mabry is like, okay, Atlanta, I know you's my former teammate with the Chicago Sky. You can shoot some threes. I can shoot some threes too. 3-point shot, Marina Mabry. Cash. All right, so it's like, okay. Minnesota just hit a 3-point shot. Connecticut responds with a 3-point shot. Minnesota, you got next. What are you doing? And Kayla McBride was like, they don't call me Kayla McBuckets for no reason. 3-point shot right away. Kayla McBride, cash. And then they go down the court again. Good defense by the Minnesota Lynx. Dejanay Carrington misses a layup. Come back down. Minnesota's on offense. What happens? Kayla McBride, another 3-point shot. And that was it. That was the game. At that moment, it was like, yep, this game may be over. This game, Kayla McBride, 2 huge back-to-back 3-point buckets. At that moment, the score was 25 Minnesota, 14 Connecticut Sun. Not an insurmountable lead at all, but with the momentum that the Minnesota Lynx had, it was clear in my head that the game was over. Yes, technically was the game over? No, it wasn't. But that moment in the first quarter, to me, kind of sealed it, because what that showed is that sort of sequence, that sequence that allowed Minnesota to get 3 really good looks at the 3-point line. What caused that? It was lack of defense. The Minnesota Lynx were setting screens, and when they were setting screens, the way that the Connecticut Sun would defend those screens were atrocious. How slow the Connecticut Sun was on defense in that first quarter was atrocious. The reason why Kayla McBride gets 2 back-to-back 3-pointers is because she was basically wide open for those shots. There were so many open shots by the Minnesota Lynx in this game. So many, because of bad defense. At the end of the first quarter, the score was 31 Minnesota, 18 Connecticut. Yes, Minnesota is a really good team. However, it's no way Minnesota should be scoring 31 points over Connecticut. The reason why they did that is because bad defense. We kept seeing pick and roll constantly. Either the person with the ball was getting the pick, like was getting the pick set for them, or it was an off ball pick and roll situation, screen and roll action, right? And it was just the Connecticut Sun didn't play it right. Either both players went to defend the screener and left the player with the ball wide open for an easy shot, or they overhelped on the person with the ball and the screener got a good opportunity. And it's one of those things where, like, I was thinking, like, man, guys, this is simple basketball 101. What's going on? What is the problem? And I think the problem was fatigue. I think the problem was fatigue. This is a team that is a bit on the older side, right? They got a lot of vets on their team. And they just didn't have it. They just did not have it at all. Again, at the end of that first half, at the end of that first quarter, 31 Minnesota. 31. Only 18 for the Connecticut Sun. And sort of it sort of went from bad to worse for this game. It went from bad to worse. Also, a thing to note in that first half, we saw Marina Mabrey go down. Marina Mabrey, she was kind of fell towards the baseline and was getting up and starting to run. And she stepped on one of I think it was a photographer's foot, twisted her ankle. She was on the ground for a while. Ended up getting back up, came back into the game. However, I don't believe we saw her. I don't believe we saw her after the second half, because it was not great. It was not great at all. This is a team that is better than what we saw. They are way, way better than what we saw tonight. This was not a good showing at all. And this was a game that, like, I was fearful for a good amount of this game. I was fearful that this is about to be a blowout. Guys, you never want a blowout in a Game 5 situation. Game 5 for the WNBA, that means that's the last game. That is the last game. And we almost witnessed the blowout. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's continue on talking about this game. A couple things to know is basically the Minnesota Lynx kind of had it the whole way. There was a special moment in the second half, at the start of the second half in the third quarter, where Connecticut actually went on a pretty substantial run. I believe they scored like 7 points in a row in that third quarter. We saw some good looks. DeJounte Carrington kept getting fouled. She kept getting to the foul line, making shots. And DeWanna Bonner, same thing. And the Minnesota Lynx, they weren't doing nothing. The Minnesota Lynx did not score until 5:38 in the third quarter. Almost they went almost 5 minutes without scoring. And they finally scored on a what? A 3-point shot. Seemed like the 3-point shot really did get this team going today. They scored on a 3-point shot, and it's one of those things where that got them going. That was Alana Smith who hit a 3-point shot, and then everybody else started clicking. We started to see better defense by the Minnesota Lynx, stopping Connecticut from making stuff happen, and they also stopped fouling as much. Nafisa Collier started cooking, right? And then of course we got the mid-range assassin who was shooting 3-pointers today. Courtney Williams was killing. This is a game where several players for the Minnesota Lynx cooked at different times. Several. Okay. I want to talk about number one, the best player on the team, second best player in the WNBA. Her name is Nafisa Collier. Nafisa Collier, it's like every time she comes out on the basketball court, she puts on a footwork clinic. She had 27 points in this game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 block shots. Nafisa Collier was doing just about everything. And to think, guys, she didn't really start to score. She didn't really start to score until sort of later in the game. It was everybody else that was sort of cooking earlier on. And Nafisa was like, okay, y'all got it. And then she was like, okay, let me get mine too. And started cooking as well. When we think of Nafisa Collier, she has a bag. She can do a 3-point shot. She can drive to the basket. She can jab step, pull up. She can do a turnaround, fadeaway jump shot. She can do just about anything. And her footwork though. Tell me anybody who has a better footwork game than Nafisa. Like, who? Maybe you could say Asia, but to be honest with you, Nafisa has better footwork than Asia. I think, in my opinion. It's just so crisp and clean. Even if she misses the shot, I'm just like, man, that's nice. But again, guys, Nafisa Collier, her husband is a trainer. Nafisa Collier worked out with Kobe Bryant several times a week for a long time. I'm just saying, like, she has an advantage over most players in the WNBA. Elsbeth says that's UConn training. I don't think you can just say that's UConn training. No. I mean, yeah, sure. Did she learn some stuff at UConn? Absolutely. But you don't see these other UConn players doing footwork like she does it. I really do think it's because of her husband. And it's because of the NBA players that Nafisa Collier has trained with. I think that's what it is. I think she has NBA style footwork. That's a rarity in the WNBA. That is a huge rarity in the WNBA, and a huge advantage that she has over just about everybody else. All right. But Nafisa, she did her thing in this game, right? 10 of 16 from the field, did her thing. Got to the line several times. But to me, the key player in this game, the MVP of the game, it wasn't Nafisa Collier. No. The MVP of the game was Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams, in my opinion, should be the MVP. I thought Courtney Williams played lights out. She played lights out. Not only did she play good defense, she shot that ball like crazy. In that first half, Courtney Williams does not miss a shot. I believe she went 6 of 6 in that first half alone. 6 of 6. She finishes the game with 24 points. She went 100% from the 3-point line. 3 of 3 from the 3. She was able to get to the basket when she wanted to. She got that mid range that's automatic, right? She is a player who it was great to see, because we all know, everybody and their mama knows that Nafisa Carr is going to cook. Everybody knows she's going to get at least 20 something points. Everybody knows that. But what I think we did not know is that Courtney Williams was going to go off like she did today. She went off. 24 points, guys, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 4 turnovers. It was special. And I think she played really good in the last game as well. And I think that really is because they kept showing her dad. Like, her dad was in the building, and she really wanted to play well for him and whatnot. And I thought she did. her dad was waving that towel. Her dad was so excited because his girl was cooking. His girl was making stuff happen. Now, guys, there is a post-game presser that is starting right now, and we are going to try to listen in and talk through it. I'm going to try to do this. We're going to see if it works. I have not done a live post-game presser in a while, so hopefully this does not get taken off because of copyright. Let's see. We'll try it and see what happens. But guys, we are going to go into the post-game presser. Now this is first up. We have the Connecticut Sun, the team that lost, and we're going to hear what they have to say about this game.
Coming into this game tonight, did you guys think that this would happen? I mean, the expectation of being a little closer. What's your attitude coming in, and what happened?
Of course.
I mean, we knew coming into this game, tied series, game 5, backs against the wall, who was going to step up, and they came out strong. Unfortunately, we dug ourselves a hole in that first half. We came out in the second half, and we fought, but we dug ourselves too big of a hole in that first half.
Yeah, to either player, Collier's a tough player to guard on any night. What was she able to do tonight to? Because she managed to do a whole bunch of good things. What was she able to do against you tonight, particularly against your good defense?
She's a great player.
Bree Jones, hey, you take that.
Both sides of the ball. She led her team all night. She was aggressive. She's been having a great year all year, so I didn't see that stopping in this game. And when she's in rhythm, it's tough to stop. But this is nothing new. She's literally been playing like this all year long, and I didn't think it was going to change anything tonight.
For either of you, they had a big lead at the half, but you guys came out in the third quarter, really frustrated their offense. I think it was 5 minutes or so before they were able to get a score in the third quarter. What was kind of the message at halftime, and how are you able to come out and just be successful in the opening minutes of the third?
I mean, I think it was just who do we want to be going into that second half? Do we want to come out and fight? We're not a team that's going to just lay down and die. So I think coming on in the second half, we knew that we didn't give the effort that we needed to in the first half, and we definitely wanted to come out stronger and be aggressive in the second half. So that's what we did, just make everything tough for them.
To either player, Dejanay,
y'all getting
pulling down 10-plus rebounds tonight, struggling with the shot a little bit, but getting to the free throw lines. Just what is it about her, and what do you kind of see as her future outlook in the W?
She's an aggressive player. She attacks night in, night out. She's been attacking all year. She added to her game, and I think you saw that. And she was, successful with it. So, her getting to the free throw line tonight was huge for us, and she just was aggressive mindset in the second half, and we needed that from her. So. For her to come out of the locker room and put her head down and go and try to get us to the line, but I don't see that changing in her game at all. I see her adding to her game each year. She's come back and adding new things. So that's kudos to her. So Yeah, I think this is something that she can learn from, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for her.
All right.
How good is their defense, and how was it particularly in the third quarter?
How good is
Their defense.
the Lynx?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're a great defensive team. They play well off each other. They help each other. They speed you up. They're physical. They were physical with us every game this series, and they feed off each other very, very well. So
they're
I
a
think
really
it
good
was
defensive team.
two heavyweight defensive teams going at it, and they just got the upper hand tonight.
For both of you, honestly, you've been in these situations before. You've been in finals before. Can you describe for people who will never experience it just how difficult it is, one, to get here, two, to force a game 5, and 3, to get to a finals? You know what I mean?
It's hard.
I think you saw this season every night. You're going up against great teams and great players. So to get to this point is tough. But then once you get here, it amps up even more. The physicality amps up. People making plays amps up. Everybody is taking it to another level once you get to the playoffs, and it takes that much more discipline and that much more toughness to make it to the finals. And we've been there, so we definitely know what it takes to do it. So.
No, she pretty much said it all. Like each round, each step, each game that you win, it just gets you closer to a championship. But the closer you get, the harder it gets. The better the teams you play. And it's really hard to get back here. Like it's really hard to get to this point in the season. So kudos to my team doing that. But I think we didn't have the understanding that every time we won a game, that it gets harder and it gets harder and it gets harder until you get to your final goal. And unfortunately, they wanted it more, but I'm still proud of us for getting, to this point.
DeWanna, obviously a very physical series. We've seen that, through all 5 games. How draining is that style when you got both teams playing that way for 5 games?
Slugfest out there, and it's whoever's standing at the end of the game, I think we lost a key piece in Marina throughout the game. That definitely hurt, but it's a slugfest, and that's what it takes to get to the finals and win a championship. It's physical, it's fast, it's the team that's more together, and they were that tonight. So it's definitely, I can't say it's draining because that's not a word that you use at this point in the season. You got to overcome that if you want to be a champion, and because next round, if we would have made it there, it would have been even tougher. So, they just was the better team tonight.
And ending with Jordan on Zoom.
DeWanna Bonner is always a great interview.
Hey, ladies. So my question is for you, DeWanna, and it's about Breezy. So I guess just talk about, she didn't play in the playoffs because of her injury, and just to come back, be an all-star, and make it this far. Just talk about what's it like about Breezy, that people don't pay attention to about her game, both on and off the court.
Breezy is a constant force in this league. It's really hard to come back from injury and play
she was out last year
at that level. So, and we asked a lot of Breezy, so it probably was a little bit unfair, coming off an injury. But I don't think it was anything that she couldn't handle, and she handled it with so much grace and so much pride. And I'm just happy that I got to step on the court with her again after her injury, because to see her come back and be this successful is just, it's kind of mind-blowing, because usually when people come back from injury, you kind of, out of rhythm, you're out of shape, and and she came in and she just fit right in and picked up where she left off, and unfortunately, but fortunately, we needed that, and she just handled it with so much pride and grace, and just kudos to her. And next year, I think it's going to be even better for her, because now she can actually train and work out the way that she needs to step back on the court. So, yeah, watch out, WNBA. I think you're going to see a better Breezy.
Thank you, ladies.
Good interview. Sometimes there are some questions that I'm like, why would you ask that? I think it was a question about like, did you expect kind of like, it was sort of like, did you expect this to happen? No. Why would a team say that they expect to lose? Why would a team say that they expected to kind of get run out of the gym early in the game? Who would say yes to that? Nobody would say yes to that question. Machiavelli says DeWanna Bonner had a great career. Yeah. The way that DeWanna Bonner has sort of like talked in like the various post-game pressers and the way that she sort of talked in this game, I don't know if DeWanna Bonner comes back. Like, I don't know if she just retires after this. Like, I don't know. It sort of makes me wonder like what she's gonna do in the future. It's like, okay, DeWanna Bonner has had a very lengthy career. She's done a lot of fantastic stuff. She's won a championship already. And I'm just like, okay, well, the response of Brianna Jones saying that, hey, we're gonna stay together. I wonder if how much longer DeWanna Bonner is gonna stay in the W. Because she's had a fantastic career. Like not everybody wants to play in the WNBA until they're like 40 something with Dinah Taurasi, right? Not everybody wants to do that, and so like I don't know how much longer she stays in. She can still play, absolutely, but she's not the DeWanna Bonner that she was back when she was a Phoenix, right? Y'all, DeWanna Bonner was cold. That cold is in like a really, really good thing. Like she was really, really good when she was a Phoenix. It was DeWanna Bonner, it was Cappie Pondexter, it was Dinah Taurasi. Them girls did their thing. They did their thing. I'm just saying. But yeah, we'll see how much longer DeWanna Bonner has that she's going to be in the WNBA. A thing to note about the Connecticut Sun for next year is that this team. Let's look at the cap numbers for this team. But they have a lot of free agents for next year. Alyssa Thomas, unrestricted free agent, right? Brianna Jones, unrestricted free agent. DeWanna Bonner, unrestricted free agent. Tiffany Hayes, unrestricted free agent. Astudu Fall, unrestricted free agent. Dejanay Carrington, restricted free agent. That's basically the entire team. That is basically the entire team that's going to be a free agent for next year. Like, man. This team is going to probably look pretty different. It's probably going to look very different for next year. Right? So, it's going to be interesting what this team looks like next year. It's going to be very, very interesting. Liddy Season says, Brianna Jones was put in DeWanna Bonner on the spot. Like, please stay. DeWanna Bonner is out of there. We'll see. We will see what happens. Machiavelli says they got to keep Dejanay. Yeah, this team got to keep Dejanay. Yeah, she really is a huge part of their defensive identity. Yeah, it is. Isaac, you are right. It's time to rebuild. It is time to rebuild. When you have a situation where you have so many free agents where they can do whatever they want. Like they're like, it doesn't matter if Connecticut wants them back. These players can decide what they want to do. When you have a situation where the three leaders for your team, the three players who sort of been there for it all, Brianna Jones, Alyssa Thomas, and DeWanna Bonner, you have a situation where they're all free agents, unrestricted free agents at that. You just don't know. You just don't know what this team is gonna look like. Marina Mabry is under contract for next year, so she's under contract. Ty Harris is under contract, and Olivia Nelson-Dota is under contract. Everybody else may or may not be here next year. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. Now, guys, let's see if it looks like they have not started the next interview yet. So maybe we just call it a night. Let me finish up my recap. And then we're just gonna call it a night, guys. And we'll look at the other post-game interviews tomorrow. Okay. Okay. But anyway, let's continue on with sort of talking about this game. It really was as I said earlier, I thought Courtney Williams really did show herself as, the number one player on the court today. Yes, Nafisa Collier, when you talk about MVP for the series, yes, it's Nafisa Collier. But MVP for this game, it was Courtney Williams. Again, Courtney Williams, 3 for 3 from the three-point line, 24 points, 7 rebounds. She absolutely, positively did her thing in this game. And it was great to see. It was really great to see. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching her play. Also, Kayla McBuckets was hitting shots as well. She had hit 3 3-pointers. She had 19 points in this game. 19 points, 4 assists for Kayla McBride, 1 steal. When Kayla McBride is hitting 3-pointers, which she hit 2 back-to-back 3-pointers in that first quarter alone, right? When Kayla McBride is hitting 3-pointers, you have Courtney Williams hitting 3-pointers. You have Alana Smith hitting 3-pointers. She was 2 of 3, right? And you have Nafisa Collier being Nafisa Collier. It is a recipe for the Minnesota Lynx to dominate. That's exactly what this is. It's a recipe for Minnesota to dominate. It's a thing. It is absolutely a thing. Absolutely. Let's talk real quick about some of the other players. I thought Natisha Heidemann once again came in the game, brought some really good minutes as well. So that was fire. That was absolutely fire. But for the Connecticut Sun, the problem was they just couldn't hit shots and they couldn't get rebounds. This is a team that the Minnesota Lynx shot 49% in the game. The Connecticut Sun shoot 38%. 38% in the game from the field, and they shot 34% from the three-point line. That's not good enough. That is not good enough for the Connecticut Sun to get the win over the Minnesota Lynx. It's not good enough. You need to hit your shots. And partially, some of this was probably because Marina Mabry, got hurt, right? But even before she got hurt, it wasn't like she was killing. She wasn't. She only played 14 minutes in this game because she did hurt her ankle, sprained her ankle in the game, and didn't ultimately. She did come back, but she didn't finish out the game, probably because it swelled over in halftime. It probably just swelled over, and she just couldn't come back. Dejanay Carrington, I thought she had a good defensive second half in this game. In the second half, we saw steal after steal after steal from Dejanay Carrington. I thought she played a whole lot better defensively in that second half. In that first half, to be quite honest with you, I don't think anybody on Connecticut played well defensively. Defensively, I don't think anybody played well consistently in that first half. In the second half, I thought Dejanay Carrington did a really good job defensively. Ultimately, Dejanay Carrington, she can shoot at times, but Dejanay Carrington is not a player that you should be going to for points, right? If you're like, oh my goodness, we need 3-point shots, you're not going to give it to Dejanay Carrington. But there were times in this game where we had Dejanay Carrington, Brianna Jones, DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, and Veronica Burton in the game at the same time. And you were trying to come back. You were down at that point. I think that was in the fourth quarter, I believe, when that lineup was in. You were down by double digits. And you had on the court No one who could really hit threes. Nobody. This team, the problem that they had all year was that they lacked consistent shooting. That's a problem that they had all year. Same problem they had last year. Same problem that they usually always have. This is a team that is very good defensively. Very good defensively, and that's usually how they make it as far as they do in the playoffs, right? Really good defensively. But they don't have shooters. They don't. Ty Harris is a player that can shoot. Myrna Mabry is a player that can shoot. But even with that, it's still not enough. You need more than just 2 shooters on your team. Yes, can DeWanna Bonner hit a 3-point shot? Yes, she can. She was 3 of 7. Basically hit kind of like 2 back-to-back threes in that fourth quarter. Yes, she can hit shots sometimes, but she is not a player. She's not like a Kayla McBride, right? She's not like a Bridget Carlton that's a really, really good 3-point shooter, right? She can hit 3-pointers every now and then. Same thing for Dejanay. Every now and then can hit 3-pointers, even though DeWanna is a better 3-point shooter than Dejanay. This is a team that needs way more shooting than just 2 players. Way more shooting. Had the Connecticut Sun had better shooters and more consistent shooters, maybe this would be different. But ultimately, this is a team that defense, they laid an egg in that first half. And the Minnesota Lynx built up such a lead that there was nothing that Connecticut could do. They outscore Minnesota in the third quarter, 14-12. They outscore them in the fourth quarter, 29-23. But ultimately, it does not matter. It does not matter because you allowed this team to get a massive lead. And it was just like, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. And that's problematic. That is very, very, very problematic for this team, and they have to figure something out. They have to figure something else out. But the fact that they forced the game 5 is a huge accomplishment. Yes, ultimately does it matter in the grand scheme of things? No, because they lost, right? They lost. So of course it's not going to be the same, right? There is no moral victories in basketball. You either win or lose. It's a make or miss league. And unfortunately for the Connecticut Sun, they missed a lot of shots. And fortunately for the Minnesota Lynx, they made a lot of shots. And ultimately, that is the ball game. Guys, the final score is 88. The Minnesota Lynx, 77 Connecticut Sun. Yes, you may look at that score and be like, oh, that was pretty close. But the game was not as close as the final score shows. The game was not as close as the final score shows. It was way more lopsided than the score suggests. But guys, that's my thoughts about the game. I thought it is what it is. Also, I do want to say real quick, Brianna Jones, she had a double-double in this one. She had 16 points, 10 rebounds. Also, Dejanay Carrington had a double-double too, 17 points, 12 rebounds. A huge L also for the Connecticut Sun is that they turn over the ball a lot. They turn over the ball a lot. Dejanay Carrington, 6 turnovers. Alyssa Thomas, 4 turnovers. DeWanna Bonner, 4 turnovers. Brianna Jones, 3 turnovers. It was dumb mistake after dumb mistake after dumb pass after dumb pass after what are you doing after what are you doing for the Connecticut Sun. It was a struggle fest, absolute struggle fest. Alyssa Thomas had one of the worst games I've seen from her in a long while. 7 points, 6 assists, again, 4 turnovers. It just was like she just wasn't her normal self at all. And at times it looked like she was a liability on offense. And Alyssa Thomas, yeah, she can't shoot really, but I never really think of her as an offensive liability. But today she was. Today she was struggling. And when she would give good passes to her teammates would miss the shot. when she would give them a really good pass, they would absolutely miss it. Absolutely, they would miss the shot. And they got to be better than that. They got to be better than that. Got to be. But ultimately, it is what it is. Ultimately, it is what it is, guys. Actually, real quick, let's take a look at the first couple minutes of the post-game presser between with the Minnesota Lynx. And Mr. President's going crazy again, as usual. All right, let's go. Let's take a look at the post-game presser, and then we will end this video, guys. All right, this is featuring Cheryl Reeve, Nafisa Collier, and Courtney Williams.
First one for Coach. You've been here a number of times. This is really your second group that you've got to this level. Can you just talk about the emotions that you felt as the final seconds ticked off?
Proud. I mean, I can't tell you how badly our staff wanted this for them. We've all experienced it, as you mentioned. But this group it's just been a really special group, and the number of people that have reached out to me to tell me how much they enjoy watching them play and they do things the right way, and that we're rooting for them. And so I just overwhelmingly felt proud for how we played. We played Lynx basketball tonight, and it was nice to get back to that. I damn near guaranteed you that we would play the defense that we played. We're now 180-6 since 2011 when we hold our opponents below 40%. To do that to this team was special, and it was necessary for us to close them out. It's okay, Mila. Oh.
Fee, I thought it was interesting that after the game ended, one of the first things you did was go over and give Lindsay Whalen a hug. I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting. It was almost like passing of the torch from one era to the second. Can you just talk about why, your thought process as you went over there?
Way has continued to text me all season, all last season, just showing her support. And it means so much. Like, just having someone who such a Hall of Famer and who has gone through this and has done what I want to achieve. Like, hearing from her and seeing her support showing up, I just thought, I wanted to give her a hug just to say thank you. And thanks for showing up for us. Thanks for, showing up for me and the team. And thank you for passing this legacy on to us, because it means a lot. And definitely want to do her proud and continue. Like, the job's not done. We want to continue on. So, it was kind of, that was what was going through my mind.
Cheryl, this franchise has had a lot of stars.
Lindsay Whalen.
Franchise has had a lot of stars. What makes V so special, what she's been able to do this season?
Well, and Court probably could pile onto this because Court plays with her and she's played with a lot of great players. What makes Fee special is the consistency and the way that she shows up every single day. Fee is always the same. Her work ethic, her demeanor, her passion for improving. She's improved every season. She's just been incredible. And every game, it's more than scoring, how she helps our team. And, I was really happy that Court helped her out some, tonight. When we do that, obviously we're really hard to beat. But, when Fee is the MVP, plays like the MVP, we're a hard team to beat.
Coach, you brought Courtney in for these big moments, these big games. You took her out in the third quarter, and she kind of was upset, kind of frustrated for a second. You went in the corner and talked to her. How coachable is she, and just how much does she bring to this team, over the season, even tonight?
Court's I'm blessed. I don't know if I really knew what we were getting. The basketball player, for sure, I watched for years. I had a little bit of interaction when we were at USA Basketball. But I don't know if I knew exactly what we were getting in terms of the person and the coachability. Looks you dead in the eye. You can say anything to her. Love that. And we do. We say everything to her. Yeah, right? A lot of times it's to get her going. We were talking a little bit before this game. But we had a conversation. We had a conversation around that when she's aggressive and she play makes. We have a chance to be in the finals. We knew that. We knew this should be a big part of us winning the series. So I was really happy for her, that she came through for us the way that she did, obviously in Game 3 and then tonight for sure.
Cheryl, as great as Fee's played this year, there have been some moments when you've had to tell her to step up and take over a game offensively. Did you have to have any kind of conversation like that tonight?
I said a few times, get a little more aggressive, when especially start the third. We were not playing very efficiently offensively, so when that starts to happen, we all should understand that Fee's the one that needs to now get the touches, and then when you get the touches, to be aggressive. So we probably said it a few times, just be aggressive. But Fee got help tonight, which was great, which made her life a little bit easier, and when she got opportunities. But overall, I thought her approach was really, really good.
Courtney, there have been several moments tonight when you hit some big baskets and really showed your emotion, particularly toward the crowd. When did you kind of feel like you had something going?
In the first half. I think I went perfect the first half. Didn't miss a shot. So when you start a game like that, you kind of know, that the hoop feeling big, got the super green light, and I think that's the confidence that Cheryl gives us. When you got it going, keep it going, and that's what I felt.
And that's where I step in and say she was 3 of 10 in the second half. So.
Cheryl right here. The win tonight puts the Lynx at the top of the WNBA for the most postseason wins with 48. You've been a part of all but one of those wins. As someone who's been around so much postseason winning, what is sort of the connective thread of teams that are able to win in the postseason? And then alternatively, what's different about this team that's gotten you guys back to the finals this year?
Talent for sure. Is a thread. You've got to have, and you got to have a lead guard. You've got to have people that can, sort of be somebody that you can trust and count on. And so I know Fee desperately needed that, so that she could be the player that she had a chance to be this season. Every championship team that I ever coached, or successful team, had at the core of them a selflessness, a chemistry. I think, and I'll separate out now for this team, their belief in themselves and each other is off the charts, and it never wavers. It never wavers. Doesn't mean that it wasn't present in some level on the other teams, but the other teams had 4 Hall of Famers, 5 Hall of Famers, whatever we're up to. And so this team, as Becky described us, Becky Hammond in Vegas described us as has good players. That's a great team. That's how special this team is that we didn't scare anybody. I'm not sure that anybody, at any point in the season was like, yeah, they have a real shot at winning a championship, other than the people that are in our corner. And I think we're continuing to have to make believers, including, the round we just played, maybe the round before that. We just keep stepping, and the core of who they are. They don't care who gets the credit. They're extremely coachable. They let me say and coach however I want to coach. It's special. It's really, really special. And I am just so happy they have a chance to experience being in the finals. We're not going to be, we're happy that we're going to the finals, but we're not going to be just happy to be there.
Thank you all so much for rocking with me. Thank you. Guys, this has been me talking about the game that was. Again, the Minnesota Lynx take down the Connecticut Sun in Game 5 to make it to the WNBA Finals. The Minnesota Lynx will take on the New York Liberty on Thursday. So make sure y'all check that out. It should be really, really fun to watch that game. Again, thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for rocking with me. It looks like the finals preview won. I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm surprised that the finals preview won over Overseas 101. But yeah, so it looks like tomorrow we will be doing the finals preview. All right. Thank you to everybody who voted. I'm going to do a quick screenshot of this vote. But thank y'all so much for everybody who voted. We will be doing a WNBA Finals preview tomorrow because that won over the Overseas 101. So I will have that Overseas video on another day, possibly Friday. Maybe that'll be the Friday stream. We'll go through that.